Hey everyone, welcome back to TBM Sports. Thursday night college football. All right, so we'll have a small play here tonight to go alongside what we have going on in the NFL and the divisional baseball round. Four games in action. We'll talk about them briefly, and then I will give you guys my best bet as we want to look at one game in specific. That will be Southern Miss and Georgia Southern. Two teams that I do favor quite a bit. Southern Miss is one of those teams that we had a pretty big win on earlier on in the season. But I want to talk about some of the line movement and why I'll be betting the game between Southern Miss and Georgia Southern. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe down below. Join us here. We do talk sports betting each and every single day. And if you haven't checked out the Thursday night football video, please do so. It will be linked at the end of this. So when you get done with this one, please hop over there and also be sure to follow me on X, share this page, all that good stuff. And let's see if we can hit another college football winner here on a Thursday night. Okay. So looking at an outlier, we'll look at these four games. The one thing that does kind of stand off to me is that we don't have a lot of favorable spots. Okay, and what I mean by that is some of these point spreads, right? Louisiana Tech 4.5. They're a 4-1 team. Also, we see Tulane laying almost a touchdown. Jacksonville State and Sam Houston. Sam Houston and Jacksonville State probably collectively two of the worst teams in college football. Jacksonville State's laying a touchdown and a hook here on the road, taking on the Bearcats. All right, but let's talk about that first game real quickly. Louisiana Tech and Kennesaw State, okay? This is a game where I do think that we have seen some line movement. This was a game that opened up at a 7.5 point number all the way down to 4.5. So Kennesaw State has been taking some action. And if we look at the handle, a lot of people are looking for a lower scoring affair here in this game, okay? And I can get behind that. College football totals just kind of go one way or another if we're going to get an absolute sludge fest, or if it's going to be a air raid where we do get a lot of scoring. 7 points in college football is always worth a little bit less than it is in the NFL. So keep that in mind. We stay away from teasers in college football, especially on the side of the totals. Okay. But as I look at the line movements here, this is something where you look at Louisiana Tech having a very good defense in conference. I think that one thing that goes behind this also is just the fact that Louisiana Tech is one of those teams where they're coming off of a 30-11 win against UTEP. Also, they did play LSU, only losing 23-7. So I definitely think they do have some class. I think that Kennesaw State is coming up to play this game. As we look at what they bring to the table, the Owls 3-1 though on the season, and they did have a very good non-con as they got blown out by 56-9, excuse me, against the Hoosiers of Indiana. Okay, but I think this is something where we do see a lower scoring game. That's just how I see it. I think that Louisiana Tech will probably score enough to cover the spread here and win. But if I had to bet this game, I would be looking at the total set at 46.5 and potentially going under. And if you wanted to find that 47, it will be available. So I would lean under the Kennesaw Law Tech going under 47, but no official play. Next one, East Carolina and Tulane. East Carolina has been a hard team to handicap for me. They were able to beat Army 28-6 in a blowout fashion. I don't really add that into any kind of my, power rankings, or it's kind of an outlier just due to how Army plays that style of offense. But losing to losing to BYU 34-13 the game prior, they're definitely trending down. But before that, they were able to almost come close to winning against NC State, and then against Camel and Coastal Carolina, they were very victorious as they won by a substantial margin. Okay, so that's kind of how I see it playing out. I want to fully kind of look into the Tulane side more so. I think that when we talk about it, the one thing that does kind of jump off at the page of me is just how Tulane's going to play this game on offense. Okay, I think that it might be a little bit too much to handle. I do think that the total is one that I would be looking at potentially going over. One thing about that though is there's only been 3 games on the season where this total did go over what we were looking at right now. And I think that's kind of what I see happening here in this spot, okay? I think East Carolina is going to be able to score in the mid to high 20s at bare minimum. And I think Tulane will be able to get 30. So I do think this one will go over 53.5 if I had to look into how I would go about betting this. So I lean the over in Tulane and East Carolina. No play for me officially on the side. I think that Tulane minus 6.5 is deserving, but East Carolina kind of scares me, and they're kind of tough to figure out. So it's just right right now it's a bad spot to get behind the Pirates. So if I was going to play this game, it would be taking the over. Okay. And then I'll save the best for last, but Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, another game where like I said, probably some of the worst teams in college football as we look at kind of what they bring to the table here. Sam Houston State 0-4, 0-5. I'm sorry, 0-5 and 0-5 ATS. Jacksonville State also 1-3 on the season. And the one thing about the Gamecocks is they kind of, since joining the FPS ranks, they've kind of overperformed. But then at times there were some spots that they just basically fell short. I think that right now you look at kind of their loss against USM, 42-25. That one does kind of lead me for some questions. I think that Georgia Southern, they were able to score 34, losing 41-34. That one does kind of leave us with some questions. I think that what this conference actually looks like. But I think that the big storyline here, they were able to beat Liberty 34-24 in a game where I had Liberty as the clear-cut better team. So something about Jacksonville State, it's hard to handicap, but also it's hard to bet on the side in direction of Sam Houston State. So if you wanted to kind of find a little way to get this one bettable, Jacksonville State tonight parlayed with the Tulane Green Wave. That's something that I would kind of entertain, or maybe even Louisiana Tech if you wanted to kind of just find money line winners. That's basically how I would approach that. But Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, laying 7.5. That's nothing that I'm going to be kind of foaming at the mouth to put on a card here for this evening. All right, but the last game that I wanted to talk about, Southern Miss and Georgia Southern. This is a game that I think that I'm betting based just solely on line movement. Okay, I do like Southern Miss and also Georgia Southern. They're 2-3 on the year, 0-1 in conference, but this is a game where I think we get a lot of points, and just having the home team getting points, I think, is the best side we can have. And also, you've seen kind of the way the handle is distributed. We have an overwhelming amount of support here on Southern Miss. They're taking the majority of the money here in this spot, and the line keeps crawling in the direction of Georgia Southern getting more points. And now that we're over plus 3.5, that's where I'm going to be at for this game. I think that when we look at the opening number of 2.5, I agree with the line move, but I think this is something where I just don't see too much value in laying 3 and a hook here on the road in this spot. So give me Georgia Southern plus 3.5. This will be my best bet for Thursday night football here in the college ranks. And I think it's going to be one where you look at kind of them playing better at home. This is just going to be a tough game in conference that I think Georgia Southern will potentially be live in the spot, but still, as we saw last night, the less than 3, the field goal, kind of having that field goal point cushion does bode well in any direction. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to be at for this game. Not a big play, but just one to have some action. I do have Georgia Southern plus 3.5. That will be one of my best bets. Okay, so appreciate you guys. I like the Saturday card a lot. I will tell you guys that as preface. I started looking at some numbers, so we will have those picks out probably. If not tonight, it will be Friday. So make sure you have that notification bell turned on. Also, if you don't follow me on X, please do so now. We do post over there, and yeah. So that's what I got for you guys. Let's enjoy this, cash some tickets, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.